And we're in here, folks. The first map of the series between sAw and Endpoint here in the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. sAw starting out on the CT side of their opponent's map pick, but as we've seen, Overpass hasn't been great to the Portuguese team in quite a while. Let's see if they can rewrite that story. As Story finds himself a little info, and this pistol round's off to a nice start. Chase down there, Surreal's not getting away, and suddenly they're going to be forced into this A play. They don't have control.
Oh my lord.
Want a little bit of space, and he opened up enough space for a headshot to come through.
I'm not enjoying this so far. I hope it turns around. I hope MHL finds a frag. Max is skulking, but Just is going to peek out at a bad time. There goes Max. There goes the bomb. Surely the round. Can MHL find any redemption?
This is one of those pistol rounds where you just... It is like a bad omen for the start of the map. You just couldn't hit anything. So, sometimes pistols are just a bit of a coin flip. And in this one, it came up tails for Endpoint. MHL is going to take as much time as possible to figure out where he wants to die.
He can get his
like
first.
Connector. Gonna be the choice. Good. Oh, he's got it.
Just is alone.
For the moment. For the moment. Not long, though. All right, MHL. Starting to make this interesting. Wrap around here. Careful play. He's going to take it up top. They're waiting for him. They hear these footsteps, certainly. They got the information, but he spotted both. Oh, my goodness, MHL. He's making this happen, but oh, Roman will keep it from getting out of hand.
There was a bit of redemption. Felt better at the end. sAw might regret not grouping up a little bit more around the bomb, I suspect. But no harm in the end. Doesn't transpire into a round when Endpoint, despite the lack of a bomb plant, are going to invest into this. MHL manages to just squeak out a Galil, having found those kills. But U2's lacking quite a lot. So I think I'm looking at this Galil more than anything and saying, can MHL kind of create some space for his team? Because they certainly don't have the nades to do it.
Single smoke and a flash. How do you make this happen, Alan? For an A take,
some good
where
shots,
they're holding
I think.
pretty far back.
We're going to keep creeping up. Soon enough to take contact. It's just some FAMASs around. That smoke is so annoying. To buy more time. And yeah, I mean, for Endpoint, they dumped a lot of utility early to help them default. I think they wanted to fake a B round and contact A. But they haven't actually got anything out of it. So they burnt a lot of nades. I mean, they gained a lot of ground, but it's not a bomb site just yet. We've only these two pieces left. They have to be perfect.
He took the contact. He's actually dropped, so this is interesting now. It's going to keep them 2-2, but the lurk out from Faster ineffective means that this is going to have to be forced in towards a B play. It's been very pokey and proddy here for Endpoint, and they don't have anything conclusive just yet, but they'll head towards the site where they've gotten the one kill, and MHL is the vanguard. He's dropped down. Now, Just takes another. The MP9 making some money en route to the kills, and this one's a non-starter. Mighty Max going to be rebuffed here, trying to get an upgrade, but in doing so, sets himself up for a death. That is a nice response from sAw. I was looking a little touch and go after the Jerks information play, but they don't lose a single other body.
Good hold from these two. If MHL wins a duel onto either Mutiris here or Just to his left, I think this round is cracked wide open, but MHL just can't ever isolate a good fight. It's a good ping-pong effect as those players peek off the back of each other. And sAw overall keep around very clean, despite losing a player pretty early on.
His peak coming in here. Story might get cut off by this flashbang, but his vision clears just in time, and he'll do so much damage. Yeah, it's just Glocks.
Okay.
But, all right. Okay. P250 and Deagle might be enough to make this a little bit more interesting than it perhaps should be. Does the bomb get caught, though, is the problem. Mighty Max, he's going into con solo with the bomb while low. Don't know about this one, Chief. Mutiris might be about to find this C4 and end any possibility at this round. Timing is everything on this duel.
Oh, Mutiris has no idea.
Clearing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he's getting his bell rung. Now it's back open. Mutiris never cleared. He never checked.
Okay, this is a really hard one for Endpoint. So they know one's connector. They're so spread out. And Max is just risking it. He does not know a player isn't here. Just is also a B player.
He's right.
He's right, though. I mean, Just is a long way off. There is a bomb plant if Max doesn't waste time.
Off the molly, but I mean, this is about as good a situation as you could hope out of this round.
Oh, they know Max is solo. They've seen MHL. They should just speed up.
They're trying to do so, but this construction player is going to have that pressure on. Needs to get quick. Mighty Max tucking in. There's a spot. The shot's not on. So the recovery again will happen, but still, you got to say that was a phenomenal round out from Endpoint. A messy one for sure. And yes, Muteris probably could have just ended it. But they're getting quite a bit out of a round that looked like it would give them nothing.
About, let's say, 1,000 to 1,500 invested. You're taking out easily 12, 13, 14k out of that CT side. It's a pretty good result. Certainly looks favorable in an economic sense. And you really felt like after sAw gets 2 and Roman's here to help, it was going to be an easy cleanup. But a couple missed shots from Roman. And it turns south pretty quick. Guns are out. Endpoint, by virtue of getting so much damage in the last, there's no missing tips or tricks in this round. They got all of the bells and whistles. And we'll see what they choose to go in for. Of course, it's their map pick. We expect some strategic advantages. Well, whatever the plan was here, it's just gone out the window with that first shot.
Oh, that's such a good find for Story, right? I mean, they know on saw's side that this is a high-pressure round on a map that they don't love. So what does Story do? He does what Oppers need to do. He goes out and he finds, he collects. He is the hunter for the team. He kills that caribou. He brings back the carcass. The tribe will eat for a week off of that one. Now let's see if they can properly prepare the meal. Heavy God, tip of the spear. He's isolated by the Molotov, though, and that just sends him right into the trap, man. They're panicking now. MHL and Surreal both down around half. It's not looking great for Endpoint. This one looking like it could be another non-starter, but they're going to slow things down. Try and reroute up top. Has been a bit of a passive hold, but the rotation's through here. saw's making the right read. The question is just, can Roman hold on to his position, or better yet, well, would have been to find one. This asks some questions. The ops here. Rifles here as well in the hands of Muteris. Not a lot of utility for the CT side remaining.
Justice cleared B, and despite getting nothing in terms of frags, Roman did hear everything. So the rotates are in, free in defense. This is looking really good now, I think, for sAw.
Yeah, flank coming through as well. They're just going to be so isolated. 2 players already in towards the site. The APC player's not even burned by that Molotov. The flank's on. There's the kill. Dominoes start to fall. They get in this position. Echo located, and no more casualties here.
I think you brought up a good point earlier of, you know, how Story getting aggressive disrupts what Endpoint had planned. And you have to say, for a map that sAw have looked anything but convincing on recently, whilst on the flip side, Endpoint is definitely the most stable home turf at the moment. If you're going to win this sort of matchup, playing standard probably isn't the way to go. You need your star players to make Endpoint uncomfortable, not let them default. And if Story continues to play like that early on and being fast on the rotates, I'm all for it. That could be really entertaining.
You know, one of the things that is actually interesting about this matchup for sAw is they've had one of the rarest of things in this run of online CS, right? They've had some time. That's a nice shot for sAw. Sorry, he doesn't even see the player, rather. Or hear him. Now this is going to be a fight towards the monster. I'll talk about my point in just a minute, because right now we got the action. Maybe cooling off. Muteris here in con. Does Fesser clear it? Hasn't gotten on the board yet. Hasn't really had much opportunity to do so. Is he going to clear his corners is the big question, and the answer is no. Not deep enough. Now they're stuck. Now there's big problems on. They got to focus in on this connector player, and they know it. Molotov maybe to force the fight. Does Muteris get away? He does indeed. And he knows. He knows there could be someone top, so he's stuck in here. He wants to stick around, try and focus in with his teammates pushing out of construction, and this one's over. MHL, what are you even going to try and do here? And this gives me time to talk about it. sAw haven't actually played a game since the 15th, which, yeah, it's just a week. But in the era of online Counter-Strike, a week to prep for a matchup is invaluable. You never get that for these sort of tier 3, 4 teams where they're just playing the gauntlet of different leagues. So I'd imagine they had to know that if they left Overpass open, as they were going to do, it would likely be picked. I think they've probably done a lot of homework here, Alan.
We got to think anyway, if you just look holistically at playing, of course, playoffs here in a row in Challenger League alongside other tournaments, presumably they have coming up. For sAw, they have to, when they have a big gap in their schedule, they're probably going to look at their map pool and say, what's everybody going to pick into us? It's going to be Overpass. It's a bit of a slam dunk that they should have practiced it a little bit, and we'll see how this plays out to see if they've got, you know, a great deal of depth. But I've really enjoyed Story so far. Last round, he starts aggressively in towards Monster. Does get traded, but even so, he's making it harder for Endpoint. He's disrupting the defaults. He's getting up in their face, and I love seeing Story on the move like this. Yeah,
it's good to see playing a different position every round. I mean, it's somewhat of an interesting tale with Story.
Okay.
In this team, out of this team, Heavy God just got a pick.
He walked out B short and just domed the player by barrels.
This is the luxury that Heavy God gives you sometimes. You know, he was slow to start, but he does have this ability to just kind of create with the might of the deed. At times, for Endpoint, they could use a lot more of it. Seems like they might be refocusing here towards B. A monster smoke. Gonna seal off those possibilities for the moment. They're putting some air in this round, Alan. They're just waiting to see if sAw's going to give them anything more to signpost their route into a site.
Probably put on notice a little bit as well by that earlier round. There was just no armor and maybe a deagle in the mix. It's a little bit stronger here, and there's actually pretty good util. They're grouping up to pop B. There's two here. It would normally be 3 on a standard round. If these flashes are good, I can see this getting very uncomfortable very quickly for these B players.
Here goes. Flash is a little late, though. Ooh, not covering much off, but Heavy God gets the kill towards Monster. That was the isolated fight. That was something just had to win. If he does, he's got a strong position to prevent the bomb plant, but as it is, it's going to be a save. Money's there, but it's not healthy enough that they're comfortable risking a tricky retake. This is a big round for Endpoint to get on the board.
Good stuff. Very nice stuff. We weren't on board for that opening kill from Heavy God onto U-Jerks, but that really changed the face of this round. Suddenly, sAw spewed all their nades to stop another player getting aggressive on B. Made it more difficult to hold at the end. They were playing 2-2. They had no information on either side of the map, and I know it's hard when you're up against pistols, but I think sometimes you have to make that decision that we still need to get aggressive for information. We take a bit of a risk. You can sometimes trick yourself into thinking we're playing anti-eco here. We don't need to take any risks. But I think we saw there the lack of information kind of doom those two B players. Even if they get more kills, I still think they get overwhelmed. Oh my god. Of course, sAw still had good money, but Endpoint kind of needed a round like that because this half had started pretty flat. They needed a round just to completely throw the economy up in the air. That's what those half-by wins do. Fezzer and a Heavy God immediately have cash. 5-1 round. When U-Jerks is so aggressive, was there nades to help him there? That looks mad.
He was trying to take the face off the smokes, right? Set up to specifically get that control, but they double swung it to counter, and they had a read on what he wanted to do. Nade back the other way. It does at least soften up a player, but you're going to get into a situation where you're 2-2 towards the sites, and sAw have not shown a lot of willingness when they lose that first body to go hunting to bring it back. Understandably so, because Endpoint like to sit. See what they'll find. Smoke gonna come over. Does this bait a response? Looks like we might get the construction play. Counter smoke up. I want to take this ground. Here it is. Flashbang. Heavy God. We know he likes these entries. Molotov. Is it forcing him forward? Is he burning? No. Gets a smoke for it, and he will get caught trying to slip back through. So that's the opportunity. But MHL on the other side of the map, he collects. Story down, up, out of play. Pressure on. And uh-oh, bad situation for Roman, but he'll make the best of it. Molotov, MHL certainly can't risk that. He's got no health to spare. He's trying to find a bulwark for his team to fight from, but now Muteris is back in the angle. They're getting the information. They know there's still presence in bathrooms. They maybe think this is a rotate. Oh, they're trying to gamble it. He spotted the player slipping away, and that's a misread from Roman. Back on the site, but he's solo. Dolo! All he needs, the might of his own arms. That'll bring his comrade back up. A bomb plant should be conceded here. But Roman actually gets ahead of the Molotov. They're not going to expect that. They're not going to expect that at all. Roman! Finds 3. What a commanding round for the captain. What a way to make this happen, Alan.
It looked like it was going to turn so far south when Story died. It looked like the red carpet being laid out on towards A. Endpoint just didn't have the numbers there immediately to scale up. MHL was so low, he was so scared to swing wide for a trade. He tried to force a headshot angle, but ultimately that kind of led to his demise, I guess. A ripper to end it. Yeah, Endpoint. I don't know. Is it they tried to fake their B round, didn't they, and do kind of probe it a little bit whilst working A at the same time. I certainly understand the idea, I understand the intention, but the way it played out, they might regret not doing something a little bit simpler, because at a lot of times in that round, it wasn't a cohesive, you know, plan, people on the same page, opportunities for trades. It was very spread out.
Different look for Story. He went for the long fight. Finds contact with Heavy God, or rather with MHL. Able to get away. But still, it's a different look. It's what we've been looking for from him. Roman's going to get aggressive alongside his AWPer. Going to be challenged here at the divider. Faster just on the other side of this. This could be the fight that swings this whole round. Roman gets caught. Oh, one support his AWPer. Now he leaves him on an island. And it's a straight path towards the A site. They've got to rotate the bomb, but they're going to have these forward positions. They're going to be able to fight. Tiras wants to deny. Flashbang good. Pushes them off. So he's retaking the space, and they still haven't killed Story. You'd imagine they might want to try and commit some resources to taking out the AWP, but they seem to have been content to just leave MHL to shadow box with him. Now Jerix goes 1 for 1.
Bomb's going B in the middle of all of this.
It's quite the reroute.
Yeah. Quite a frisky
Time's
round.
Gonna be an issue.
They still know that Story's here in Long Toilets, I believe. Posted up in that direction. Fezzel's going to lurk. It's only just here, so as long as they trade this man out, it's been a bit awkward, but this T-call should work.
Comes the util. One more flashbang's all they got. So Heavy God gonna toss it. Oh, he's just going up with the gun. Double swinging. There's the first found. Oh, just with a transfer. He's taking it all. Not quite. Leave Mutiras in towards the clutch. Mutiras knows where both players are, and he knows he's sandwiched in between them. It's a little bit awkward. Time's a huge issue if he just gets in and denies this. Oh, he's at least gonna get down. Can't deny the bomb. Surreal gets those numbers punched in. Mutiras routing. How do they read this? Surreal has gone out towards Toxic, so he's actually got the vision that the player's no longer in towards water. There's the spot on the first. Mutiras knows where the second's coming from. He's got the read. There's a kit right in front of him. He's already got one, and on the edge of the smoke, he will find everything he needs.
Massive retake. Absolutely massive. It was a little bit complicated in the end, but it felt like once Fezzer got 1 kill on the A lurk, that makes it so hard to pick, you know, which side is actually going to end on. Time might have been low, but it was a safe plan for Surreal, and you can kind of see here, maybe there were different ways to play this. They're not necessarily on the same page. I'm quite surprised he saw Fezzel there at the end, but 6th chiming in is Mutiras is an absolute monster to put sAw back into a commanding position.
Ooh-wee. 7-1 scoreline. Honestly, astonishing here.
2 rounds in a row with a man advantage early for Endpoint, and they couldn't convert as well.
Tough pills to swallow. They want to play the smoke fade on this one. They're just coming through. They're just coming through. Just dodges the flashbang. Goes 1 for 1. Gets the information on it. The op posted up, but Story can't connect. Utility will come in to force this back, but again, a man advantage situation for Endpoint. They can't let another one of these slip by. And they're doing the same thing. They're spreading out around the map. They're exploring their options. And not just committing in towards the site. Utility's been good from sAw to force them back off of it. But Heavy God, he's going to operate solo dolo. And this time it works out. So certainly that calls the bomb back. He's got all this space. There's nothing else for it. Yes, Faster's lurking up, but who cares? Just take the site, plant the bomb, win the round. And well, Faster will make it just a little bit better.
Take both sides. They know Story's up in heaven now. Somebody hopefully has a smoke. Just go on bridge. That allows the plant. Yeah, in the middle of that, sAw had 4B there at the time of the exec, or the committal through the monster smoke. It didn't trade well for them, but Endpoint saw there were 2 more. They knew it was solo A. That's why they kind of hit the brakes and the A players start sprinting. So good macro from them. And I think you have to look at sAw and say in this round, when you got 4 in defense, I feel like you need to be trading a little bit better. I don't know if they got caught off guard with the timings or the flashbangs, but they were totally blindsided as Endpoint sprinted in.
HL's about to collect this AWP if he looks up. Oh, not quite. A little bit too quick on the clears. I mean, Story's going to be able to save this up, and That actually makes this next round a lot better. They can justify putting a little bit around this. Upgraded pistols at the very least. There's something doing in this round still. It's not quite going to be the cakewalk, maybe Endpoint we're hoping for.
Let's have a look. They're in a 1-9 loss, so they couldn't fully kind of half buy. Gotta be a little bit careful with the change. And it's a reasonably heavy eco. There's a lot of nades though across the board, at least a reasonable amount. More so than the weaponry, but clearly, given this investment, we're looking at Story. Oh no, he was gonna go through that smoke, but the smoke hit him and missed. And now that plan's gonna change.
Spots the shadow. He knows it's here. Flashbang's on. That's gonna force him forward. Now it's so uncomfortable for Story with his AWP. He's got his pistols with him. Bodyguard's up, but he's just trying to find angles to try and maximize this gun. And the flames, the smoke, it's all making it so uncomfortable at Endpoint. Realizing the score, get the heck out of Dodge. They're gaining this space towards A. They may not have to contend with these players' sight at all.
Got a little bit scary as those first players in were hanging it out, all out, in the open. But in the end, the call came in, I think it was an eco. They know where the AWP is, but they certainly do now again. And in the meantime, Fez was taking all this A space, so somebody needs to hoink that bomb, thread it over, and it should all be hunky-dory. A third round surely for Endpoint.
So that was hoink that bomb? That
yeah.
Hoink it.
I think that's a legitimate word. Let's check
I like it. I don't know if I'd call it a word necessarily.
Yeah, to move or pull abruptly. Hoink.
Hoink? H-O-I-N-K?
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. I'm thinking yoink. But I guess this is, in fact, a word. Just a new one to me.
I've looked on Urban Dictionary and let's move on. Because we're not in safe territory.
You can find the Hoink name in family history at Ancestry.com.
Is it hoik? Is it to hoik? Is that the word? C-K. H-O-I-C-K.
I don't know.
I
pull a lift or pull abruptly or with effort. Yeah, okay. Hoiked her bag onto the desk. Still not a word I'm familiar with, but I like it. You're expanding my vocabulary here, Alan.
In every shape and form. We like to, you know, teach the world, especially when the British team is playing. We like to show our influence around the world.
Yeah. Get that British English going in.
Okay. Bit of a pause. Hopefully we're not here too long. Endpoint. It's been a bit of a rough start, but they have kept this money so bad. They had so many close rounds, so many one-on-ones. At least they kept the CT cash very honest. And there's still potential here for a really good half. There's still a chance to get... I'm saying it to myself. There's still a chance for good round. There's still a chance. There's still a chance.
I mean, I think if you crack through here...
It can still go well.
I think if you crack through here, it's very simple. I'll paint the picture. You crack through here, you win this. No survivors for sAw. You got a great chance to at least get to 5 or 6 without too much resistance. And 6 is enough. It's all enough, Alan. I'll help you with your copium. But they do have to win here. If they don't win here, then a slaughter is back on the table. But we're gonna get a boost up.
I've been prescribed some positive thinking by the psychiatrist after the mute game.
Is Jerks looking for this? No. Uh-oh. Now he is. Now he is. Doesn't find the shot, though. Nade's gonna chase. Nade's gonna chase. Yeah, not conclusive. And actually, oh my goodness, coming back the other way. Endpoint had a little stinger playing on the back of that boost. And Jerks, he's feeling rough.
Muteris needs to be B. I mean, they've seen so much B. And their players aggressive and they're seeing nothing. They're going to pay the price for this bad macro, I think.
Now he's going to be taken around. Story, that's a big kill to find, and it tells them that there was another player up towards here, so they should still know that MHL is present. Trying to fall back towards the site, avoid MHL chasing them down. That bomb being left back does again mean that Endpoint need to take a while to set this up, and in the meantime, MHL gets collected, so now they can feel a lot more comfortable rotating down as soon as they feel contact. Contact by the name of Heavy God. Oh, that's the best kind of contact. Less so when you get traded, but now the cavalry's going to be on the way. 25 seconds. They have to know this is a commitment, and just he's holding up exactly what he needs to. Calling in the troops, and he doesn't need the troops. He doesn't need them all. He's a one-man band, one-man army, and that is sAw reasserting themselves here on Overpass.
This man's had some monster rounds on B, hasn't he? And it seems to be these rounds where he's penned in behind the pillar or maybe up close on monster, and he just has to frag. There's no other way out of the situation, and Just is doing just that. I think Story, though, deserves the credit in this round. It really didn't look good to me for sAw with the way they were playing. It was so static, and if Ujux went down to that double nade, I think they lose the round because Endpoint would have committed in behind it. It would have been only Just in defense. So I think they got away with it a tad, and it's the individuals that bailed them out. And I guess on a map where maybe they don't have all the strategic depth to fall back on, we need those individuals to be absolutely brilliant, and particularly Just has been exactly that so far.
Kind of like the ideal thing you want for the backbone of a site, right? Just that guy when everything starts to fall apart and the rain's pouring down. He's gonna open an umbrella right over your head. So it's okay. It's okay. Get the kill team back into the round. Set up the defense. But more of this aggressive monster look. Oh, they're going for it. They're going for it on the fight. That's unexpected. This is a new look. They haven't done this really. The late mid-round aggression. Now they found the bomb. And while they're going to back away, it's still very troubling. Mighty Max will try and take advantage to get out here. He's got a bit of the space, but the utility's coming back the other way, and it's all been burnt from sAw.
There's no smoke for heaven. There's no smoke for heaven. Story was just in there. They can get back into heaven before these players can... Are they really going to aggress again?
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
They're going for it. Oh, they're going to catch him with nades in hand. Surreal just spotted it. He spotted it. Still can't win the fight. Trade there might help. Not necessarily good enough, though. And with 30 seconds on the clock, Endpoint still don't know what they want to do. They're going in towards B, but you need Mighty Max to rotate back from A to get the bomb. They're going to run out of time here, Alan.
Nobody's getting the bomb. Nobody's getting the bomb. They have to find the kills.
Okay, they've killed everybody.
Story, he doesn't know it, but he doesn't need to peek.
They have to go to B. They have to go to B. They've got no smoke to cover it. They have to go to B. Oh, he's dropped down. He could have just held it from heaven, but he didn't know, of course. Vassar ready. A 1v1. And Story! May not have done it the easy way, but golly, easy up to the task.
Oh. If you put in exclamation mark HR in chat, you can see my attached heart rate monitor whilst you're watching Endpoint. And it is off the charts. Oh,
did they bring the bomb on that first approach?
If anybody had the bomb, that was the real crime at the end of that round, wasn't it? When it went sub 30, everybody's poking a sight from Endpoint, and nobody's thinking about the bomb.
Hero rifle here. This one's getting out of hand.
This half could have been double digits for Endpoint, but they're scrambling now for survival.
Woo. Story? Does he get out? Only just. All good, though. Doesn't get punished on the early peak. That's what you want if you're an AWPer. And look at this poke from Roman. He finds his. That shuts down the fountain presence. Now they've got this very much telegraphed. Still being exchanged. Ooh, a little bit of space here to Monster. This could get spicy. But no. They'll blend it back up.
It's not going to be a consequence, but nobody actually had the bomb in hand during that whole sequence when Endpoint were clearly primed to hit B. Is Max just going to save? I mean, he can get head armor and full nades.
What if you won the round, Alan?
Then my heart rate might go even higher, but for the right reasons.
I think you'd have something else rising, too.
As always when Endpoint's playing.
He's thinking about it. He's considering. The gears are ticking around in his head. If so, he's picked the right site. Just has to catch Story looking the wrong way. Oh, he's faking it. He's faking it. Don't think they're going to flinch on this one. Whoa, gonna run straight into death. Nothing that can be done about it. Jerks finds him for his 4th in the round. A nice multi-kill coming through from the young gun. And double digits are on the board here for sAw. This is looking like a clinic on their opponent's map pick. You nervous about the series yet, Alan?
Absolutely. Was from the start, but now it's... I mean, Endpoint, what are they on? Endpoint are on a 9-match win streak on Overpass, is that right? Let me just remind myself. It's been a bit of time. Yeah, 9 wins in a row. Some of those over some pretty good teams, like the Sprouts of the World, 9, Forza, BNE, and saw on a 5-loss streak in a row. Granted, maybe against some better teams, but... if the numbers are anything to go by, this was the lock in this series for Endpoint, and it's not looking like that at the moment.
There's a bit of a find for MHL though. Catches Roman, back turned. Should have been a good fight for Roman, to be quite frank, but Mutiris is going to take the space elsewhere. And despite that kill towards A, they're rerouting in towards B, hoping that this will be the softer site, and they are sorely disappointed by that one. Jerks though caught spamming, just this time taken down with just one. And this long flank from Mutiris is way too late to be useful. They're watching for it. They're not. MHL runs straight into the fray, and suddenly we got another chance for Mighty Max to prove his mettle. Don't take that Molotov. Don't take that Molotov. That's all he's thinking right now. Mutiris, though, will catch him. The duck under the headshot means that it's an easy defuse, and at this point, I don't think sAw are particularly fussed about whether the bomb goes down or whether it doesn't. They just want to keep winning rounds.
Yeah, starting to looking... You know, this half was on a knife edge so far through. There were so many close rounds. Probably 2 or 3 where Endpoint had a clean advantage and they couldn't convert. It's the last couple, it's felt cleaner, isn't it? I mean, it's a nice trade there from MHL. And even when Endpoint here find the gap, the 2-on-2 is a little bit blindsided by that early flank. God, they need 4 rounds. They need 4 rounds. Or this is done, it feels like already.
Will they get that for? Will they give you hope, Alan? They give you at least a glimmer of it. It's a big question we have to ask ourselves here. Once again, Endpoint have made sure to leave the bomb as far away as possible to set up a potentially disastrous late round scenario. This time it's reasonable. It's more when they drop it with like 40 seconds left on the board that they make me very nervous.
They haven't got it yet. And they're going to contact in towards A. I'm not sure they have a read on where Story's playing, so it's a little bit risky. Now they've seen it, as Story takes a duel out Monster, and this should only embolden them more to start contacting A.
It's going to be dry. What can Mutiris do here? He's got support, potentially. Oh, they line up? Whoa, that could have been bad. That could have been really, really bad, but instead, a 1-for-1. This sets up a little bit of nicety, but... as always, Endpoint, they're rotating back down the other way. What is Jerks to find here? He gets the kill, but traded instantly. They got to get back down. They got to get back down. You Jerks going to do exactly that. Set the smoke. The bomb's now completely isolated. Surreal is alone with the C4. Time is starting to become an issue here again. 35 seconds. Surreal will try and group up with his teammate in MHL, but... oh, they're bringing it up A. They're bringing it up A. They're rotating, and Jerks is going to know this. He's just pushed through it. The perfect moment to catch them. Walking away. So everything's going to be here. The flank's going to be on. This is going to be disastrous. Potentially, it's looking bad, and there's only 12 seconds to watch it play out. A train wreck in fast motion. Bomb now dropped. No time to recover. 6 seconds, 5. It's over. You cannot win this on time at all. And Roman will do them the mercy of saving them 3 seconds. 12-3 is our half scoreline here, Alan. That was a battering.
Oh, there's so many moments where Endpoint could have got more out of that half, but it didn't come to be. Towards the end, sAw spooled up and up and up. Story came alive, just was magnificent. And going into the second half, we need a miracle to save this map for Endpoint.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Attempts to send me to the sky, but I've been in the wind, been had wings, I was always this fly. Oh yes, and that's probably why you're mad. Don't let Evie turn you into a trash bag. So get glad, find out why you sad. All that jealousy, you should subside. I think it's time to turn that mirror on you. Put it up close for a clear view, and look deep down inside. And soon you will find a pretty soul that needs more shine. My world has come together, and maybe I just wanna let it shine. There is no good or better. I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. 1, 2, mean right hook. Come and test me, my mob deep will have you shook. It's a marathon, but baby girl, never let up. No need for speed, but keep your foot up on the gas pedal. Ain't worried about having a golden award when God made me to be an ice cold meadow. Why are you always pressed about my life? Talking with your friend and me's about me, saying, ooh, girl, have you seen it like the shy lights? You tried, but you could never dim my light. Please know I'm untouchable, girl. I'll slip through your fingers like a real fly kite. Why you wanna turn a good day into fight night? Constantly projecting all that negativity. Take that bad energy.
Well, Alan, I do have good news for you, which is that your pain in this map might be brief, as Endpoint do not have a lot of rounds to play with here. They gotta get it started well, or we're gonna be moving on to the second map and saying goodbye to their own pick of Overpass.
Maybe I enjoy the pain. Maybe I'm all for it. Maybe that's what I'm into.
I mean, look, after this much time being a fan of UKCS, if you hadn't developed that kink, I'd be shocked.
Comes with the territory. Comes with the territory. It was a 4B start for Endpoint, but they've left at just the wrong time. There's only 2 here.
Oh, no. Oh, that little bit of hesitation has just caught them off. The rotation going to be in, but the utility's up, and there's nothing that they can do until this post line does come through. This is going to be so tough. Fesser forces the issue. Oh, my goodness, Fesser. He doesn't say, oh, I can't get through this Molotov. He just makes it happen. Feet on fire. Out barrel as well. And now the battle through. This could get a little awkward for sAw. They want to find a position to fight from, but they haven't seen this player tuck graffiti yet. And oh, knife out and into it. Heavy God's going to get that kill. It's all going their way, Alan. It's all gone their way. The bomb defused, and what a commanding retake.
Just feel the euphoria going through your body right now. Oh, it's beautiful. Fezor. I don't think that was advised. That needed a do not try this at home sticker at the bottom as he ran through that Molotov, but somehow he makes it work, finds 2 kills, and sAw does another numbers to close off all the different choke points as Endpoint strode their way back onto the bomb site. Strutting are the Endpoint squad, and, well, that was a good start. Now I need to fend off the 4 spike, because this would be a sorry way to go down.
A little bit of control coming on in here. Very passive hold from Endpoint. Most aggressive look they've got is Fesser just trying to get a little bit of information here. Out past the bathrooms, trying to have some sort of an insight. But they are stacked onto the right side because this does look like it's likely to be the other B play, especially with Jerks being as patient as he is on the other side of the map. Re-smoke up means that eventually they're going to have to come through a Mighty Max. He's going to get a bit cheeky in the tunnel. This smoke fade could get spicy. What's he gonna have? This kill could determine the round. Mighty Max gets anything out of this. He sets his team up very well, and here comes the pinch on in. He'll get 2. Why not? Set up Surreal for the 3rd, and it's a disaster. They played right into Endpoint's hands. Mighty Max delivers when called upon.
That's how that crossfire is supposed to work. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. There was a re-smoke coming in for Monster, so it made it a little bit more difficult. Max still, though, had to find the frags, and sAw just never pressured A enough there to put Endpoint into a different setup. So, But at least they're getting to play some Counter-Strike. It looked like it could be a very fast affair. But we're going to be here a little bit longer. This one's such a light eco that we'd be stunned if Endpoint can't make it 6. And it's not an insurmountable deficit. Not insurmountable.
No.
But there's a lot of work to do.
Starting to look downright mountable.
No.
Boost up on the slide. That's a bit cheeky. Faster not going to get spotted by it. I think Meteorus probably could have just seen the top of his head, but didn't realize it. Oh, there's a spot. Faster. Get overwhelmed here. Pistols coming his way. Hot and heavy they are, but he's got support. And MHL and Faster are going to make short work of this setup. It'll go down eventually, but great work done. And great work followed up. Don't know if that's the duel you want, MHL, but he's just setting up time for his teammates to come in and make sure that it's not getting away from them.
Beautiful stuff. Taser onto Fezzle. A bit of a replay as that onesie punch works very nicely. Heavy God was also towards long in case anybody ducked and dived their way in that direction. But here we go. We're on the guns. We're on the guns. At Endpoint have to hit the ground running. We praised Story ad infinitum in that first half for his proactivity and his different looks. And I'm going to ask the same questions of MHL. He's been a little bit static in the games I've seen him so far. And we indeed would love to see this young man being super proactive everywhere on the server.
Utility pushing players off. Heavy God. A little bit of damage exchange there with Roman. Meteorus might catch this player in con. No, it's Faster who comes up the best of it. This connector fight could determine everything. Faster just keeps collecting. He's dropped a bomb as well. This one's another non-starter. SAw. They're having a really tough time even just cracking like that first kill through on these takes. They're chasing. They spot a player. They try and chase it, and they can't kill him. They just can't kill him, Alan.
Just out of reach. That has to be the most convincing round of the map so far. That was unbelievably dominant. Early frags to the way of Endpoint. Fezzle wins the really important duel on that first connector player, and then he can start working off the utility of his teammates. I think Max had a cheeky flashbang from the peek off as well in the midst of that. So, we're starting to spool up. The dream is still alive. Maybe I can save some money on my next psychiatrist appointment.
I'm doing years of trauma right now with these last few rounds, but that's all just to set you up for greater heartbreak as we get later in.
They're just sandbagging. They're doing this. It's all scripted, Mike. That's why they do this. Is they lose the first few rounds, they get me in a bad place, and now they come back and they get the euphoric, euphoric comeback.
Yeah.
My rebirth, as it was.
To be fair for sAw, I mean, we've been talking about the fact that they've likely and clearly, based on that first half, been putting time into their overpass, but the attacking half is the much trickier puzzle to solve. Still, look at all this space they've got. This is not bad with the pistols. They're condensing the angles. MHL is very much committed. Uh-oh, he could just get overwhelmed and is going to. Fully scoped up. He never left his angle.
Oh,
Messer
no.
gonna get run down. The Heavy God on the scene has to reassert himself here. And he does exactly that. The bomb's dropped at his feet as well. The reinforcements are on, and there's the recovery.
Just get me a Heavy God tattoo right now. That was ideal. That was exactly what we needed. It looks so bad. It looks so bad as Fezzle hit the deck. MHL had no idea what hit him with that first kill. And at least sAw showing they still got some life to them after losing 5 on the trot here. Pause is in. No doubt from sAw to have a quick discussion about how are we approaching these gun rounds? How are we going to... I mean, there's a question right now of how they even default without losing so many numbers. And this game is edging its way towards becoming very compelling. So we'll keep tabs on that. I think one angle is that, of course, in that first half, there were a lot of close rounds. There were a lot of rounds where Endpoint had the advantage and lost it. And it certainly feels like there's more potential for an individual to save you on the CT side of a map like Overpass. I think sAw need to lean more on their team play to close this match out.
Here, taking a little bit of control outside of construction. That may have been spotted just. It could be coming his way. Connector's been a huge problem for them. Right? Clearing out these connector angles has been Ooh, bit of a boogeyman for them, and it seems like this time they've got 2 players bunched up in here. Pressure through the door to try and keep the heat from coming through, but they're just going to duck over, and that's a nice shot. All right, Jerks. That's the way to get it done. Done fast the initial angle, connects the second, and now this A defense is very soft. Heavy God has to rotate up to support, but this is a great start for sAw.
Yeah, I think those 2 players were so aggressive that sAw is still a little bit hesitant that there could be a 3rd player on A. That's not why they're not sprinting up. And I think it's okay. They've hit the freeze button. All eyes on Endpoint to make a play, make a move. That's why Heavy God is skulking his way along, just trying to get any information to hopefully allow his 2 teammates to lean in the right direction. That is not a good monster smoke, as we can see by the mini-map. That's not going to deter anybody, and Just is going to take out the gap. Or they might not expect a player to be through monster. They might even think this smoke is right on cue.
Ooh. Trade there is good. Go 1 for 1. I mean, that's fine. Flashbangs pressuring on Surreal. Overwhelmed. Just no way he's getting out of that one. Heavy God is going to get the op. Money, obviously, a plenty here for Endpoint, but there's no sense cutting it down early. And in a 1v4, this rifle will live to see another day. Perhaps. I don't know that I'd be wanting this hunt if I was Meteorus. But he does. Oh, and it might work. And it will work. And there we go.
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I think Endpoint... I'm not sure sAw played a brilliant round. They haven't been clearing connector with full utility, and the first player in, it was Ujux, just domes MHO when MHO's right eye with an AWP. Yeah. It's not necessarily a super favored duel, so yeah, I said it. I said that I didn't think individuals could bail them out of the seaside, but in that round, Ujux might not would have, entirely won the round, but he put them in such a good position with that opening kill.
Certainly did help things off. With a cheeky boost up here. Oh, this is really interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, there's the spot. Do they see it? They do. Back the other way. Now pressure's going to be on. Knows that they're all here. Just chases 1 down. Still a heavy damage back onto him. This isn't exactly a great exchange. sAw got caught a little bit, and the utility advantage is firmly in the lap of Endpoint. Lots of time to play out here, though, and Endpoint's going to start to commit some of that CT utility, trying to make sure they don't lose B here.
Ujux is taking space. Of course, his teammates would have told him there had to have been 3 on B early on, so it's a little bit more incentivized to start clearing this. He doesn't know where MHL is playing, so he shouldn't get too overzealous here. And sAw need to make a move. Right now, they are praying for an over-aggression, but it's not coming.
Audio's getting a bit cheeky.
Time could be an issue. Bomb is still T-spawn.
Yeah, 30 seconds. This is getting very nervous. They're going to go in towards B. They're making their commitment. It's a bit of an aggro setup for Endpoint. It's not bad. And MHL has just routed up, so at least they don't have that op cover. Let's see what can happen with these close-up players. Mighty Max from Wood. Oh, he's distracted. Loses his teammate. That's the bomb drop. Can he hold on to it? No. 14 seconds is the op into the angle. MHL, he could shut this all down. No. The bomb has crossed. They're fighting. Why are they fighting, Alan? They need to plant. And they will be able to do so mercifully. This has been allowed. Even a tag through the boxes. It's all on the Jerks. It's all on the Jerks. And Faster will not give him an opportunity to pull off that clutch. Hell of a recovery there for Endpoint.
Super awkward towards the end from sAw. I wonder if they weren't entirely keeping an eye on the clock. Because it looked pretty good as they're running into the bomb site. They get that early trade. And from there, if they had more time, I guess, to set up for an afterplant, maybe it could have gone better. But they went a lot of that time because that has slipped away early. And Endpoint, they're still fighting. They're still going. They had such a massive reserve of cash that they've been able to sustain a round loss and not be too bad. And money's starting to dwindle, but the scoreline is closing up and up and up. And it's not like sAw have banked anything considerable themselves. It's starting to get very interesting when it looked like a done deal at the half.
Connects on the first here, taking out Just as well. A guy who was the hero of the first half. The backbone of this team. And a bit of a non-starter on a lot of these rounds.
Long toilets.
Oh, Fesser's got it. Fesser's been fantastic.
You just like half check that. It looked a bit bizarre. Well, Fez will punished in the end. MHL has been on the move. He started on towards B, so that's nice to see. And now he's rerouted. He's in defensive A. And
spotted there?
I think he...
Not sure if he saw it. Unclear.
I'd definitely be checking connector if he knew Rowan was there.
I feel like they're going to come in for a clear. This could actually be cheeky. Heavy God has to know it's a possibility, right? Provided he doesn't lazy clear this. Oh, and he's actually just going to stay posted. Roman doesn't check it at all. Talk about lazy clear. It's just a lack of a clear. And so now these two players out towards long, they're stuck. They don't really have another dimension to this approach. 35 seconds. It looks like they're just fading back into the save.
Pick your poison. What's better here? Wow, these gun rounds, so many of these been so flat from sAw. Of course, the first kill comes off MHL. That's over towards Monster. But, do you think it's a case of when plan A doesn't work, is they don't quite have the fallback, there's no other options? Because it certainly felt that way in a lot of these rounds where they've lost a player early, and yeah, fair dues, you're going to lose the majority of those rounds, but still make it compelling, get a bomb plant, keep up that pressure. It hasn't always been the case in this T side.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've got a lot of plans for the 5v4s, 4v5, or 4v3s type of situations, right? If they don't win that early damage exchange. Concerning. And, you know, I mean, it's one of those things where you question the depth of the playbook, perhaps, as well, for a team that doesn't love to play it.
It's also a case that, let's say they did practice Overpass for 2 days. You can't practice being man down. You can only learn that for officials. So maybe that is also a factor here.
A little bit of information. They hear Surreal's jump, but
Fezzel's pushing.
Far from conclusive. Fezzer could have everything here on the flank. Mitchell hasn't seen anything towards A, so Fezzer likely to route in, but it's going to be a little too quick for him. Mutiris gets that first contact. That's what they were hoping for, the second as well. And now that flank shouldn't much matter. Heavy God, he has to try and introduce some doubts here, but Molotov's on. He can't get into this round. So it's all going to be about Fezzer.
Oh, the nades.
They can open things back up. Heavy God's so low. But no one's looking. No one's looking Monster. No one is checking this. And as I say that, Roman actually does identify the potential weakness, realize how it could go wrong. And this is looking like sAw asserting themselves for 14. What can you even do if you're Endpoint? MHL's thinking about how to bail out. He's smoked off. And Heavy God knows he's just kind of stuck here, hoping that someone will give him a fight. Someone will give him an avenue back into this round. And it might be Jerks. Or an avenue out of this round.
Would it be nice to get a couple kills? The end here for Endpoint, at least keep sAw right up against the wall economically. But not to be. Yeah, with Fezzer on that flank, I think Max just got off a monster smoke. He was the player barrels. And if Max and Surreal could just hold on for, let's say, 3 or 4 seconds, just get those first kill, stall players out, get a smoke down maybe by the pillar. Anything to bring Fezzer into play, and I think that looks good because they had 3 on B and a fast flank. It's a rough one because Endpoint, in a macro sense, are in a good position, but in a micro mechanical sense, those B players just couldn't capitalize, and now it's looking really scary.
Oh, there's the spot. Jerks had to double peek it, but the flash was so good that Fezzer.
Oh, did they? Oh, they quad boosted. They quad boosted for the first kill. So we Max in heaven.
Love a Yertle, the turtle boost. Pressure on to Surreal here. He's got Heavy God present. I mean, this is kind of the optimal site for them to hit from Endpoint's perspective. But still going to be pretty isolated. Utility's starting to sail over. Heavy God, does he have the peak? No, but he does have the nade. And a Molotov to force him further back. Surreal positioning here towards construction. Surely they're going to clear this, though. They have so many bodies on, so many crosshairs, so many ideas for how they want to take this, but no one's checking, no one's holding. Uh-oh. Doubt in. Heavy God stuck on a player. When does he realize this? Lost in the smoke, and he will figure it out first. This is falling apart. This is vaporized. Such good positioning. All for naught, Alan. That should have been 15 for sAw.
Absolutely. Absolutely, after finding those early frags. That was a clean 5-on-4. They get a 1 kill whilst they were quad boosting onto Max in heaven. Get another kill on A. you can't ask for the round to start any better. That's also 2 nade sets on the deck for the CD side. So they're so limited with options. And sAw try to go into that B hit. They can never get a good fight. That smoking towards the backwater from, I think it was probably Heavy God, was absolutely ruinous. It's so difficult to move around. And Endpoint is still in this. This is such a crucial round, though. They have to break this cache again from sAw and get more anti-ecos to close this gap.
Mighty Max from Toxic, head ripped from shoulders. There's the entry they were looking for. Surreal under pressure. He'll get one, but down. You jerks is taking no prisoners in this one. And in a 2v4, MHL's going to give it a look in, but once this bomb's down, you think he might just think about the save. Smoke up.
Yeah, I think this is a buy in the next if they save. I don't think this is advised to go for.
Oh, Fessor still wants it, but MHL's even backing up. Economic pressure would be something. But what's the end game?
They've got to keep these rifles alive. I mean, these are drops for Max and Surreal in the next.
Fessor needs to get away from this bomb. He's not winning the round. He knows it. He just wanted one extra kill to see if someone would chase him. They're not going to. So it's time to get the heck out of Dodge.
There's 15 U-Jerks. Absolute monster on the entry price. Endpoint didn't know what hit them. They had 3 players there. You're set up in a way that you're kind of prepared for some sort of explosion, but wow. That was an absolute bulldozer out of sAw or the plow. That was U-Jerks.
The man, the myth, the jerks.
Oh,
look, it hasn't been pretty since the half switch here for sAw, but it's just not going to matter if they can get one of these next 4 rounds. This is one of those situations where you don't care if you win it pretty or ugly. You just want to take your opponent's map pick.
They're such heavy favorites as well on Vertigo. If they can make it there, they can make it there with their opponent's map pick. This series suddenly doesn't look like a free map affair anymore. Long is definitely the right way to go. There's nobody here. A lot of free real estate being chewed up by the Portuguese squad.
This was a heavy gamble for Endpoint with none of this positioning. MHL's now revealed his position.
Do they even know? I mean, they just faked a mid-take. I don't think they got a clue that players are this far advanced.
Roman can't give up the bomb here. Roman can't give up the bomb. He's trying to sell this, but it cannot cough up the C4. That's the one way this round could get away from them.
Oh,
and there's
no.
the shot. There's the reveal. Muteris, he's in here. Heavy God could maybe pose some problems, but those problems are solved. Muteris commanding here. 1 HP, that's enough. Okay, just caught. Fessor still posing some problems. This bomb will be planted. They have control of bank. Things are looking very good for the post, but we have seen sAw misplay advantages before. Still this time with the clock already ticking away with Fessor with the only kit. He's on the flank as well. It could be an issue. If Fessor goes down, time is going to become an even bigger problem. But he's gotten towards sight. Got this read. He's not got the kill. So Mighty Max and Surreal, who's going to come up big from the old veterans of this squad? Well, it's not going to be Surreal. And Max, he's out of time. sAw snatch away Overpass to move up massively in this series. We were projecting a 3-mapper here, Alan, but I don't know. It's not looking good for your boys at Endpoint.
No, it's not. I mean, in isolation, the CD side looks pretty good to me. I think they've played a lot of good rounds. It looks